So Lebanon County Christian Ministries, we've been here in existence since 1982. We're currently located on 7th and Locust Street, and we've been there for approximately 11 years out of that space. And we were previously in our Water Street building, which is now Logan Appliance, and we were there for 20 years. But our very first space was really at 12th and Cumberland. It's an old warehouse that is now the laundromat and Edgar's drugstore. So. But since 1982, Lebanon County Christian Ministries has been providing food, shelter, clothing, and other emergency services to families and individuals in need and in crisis. 1 out of every 8 Americans are food insecure, and that means that their access to enough food is limited by either financial resources or for other reasons. 46% of Pennsylvania adults that seek food assistance are actually employed. So 46 of the people accessing food banks, food pantries, or other food programs within the state of Pennsylvania are employed. Almost 42% of our students that are enrolled in the 6 public school districts in Lebanon County live at or below the 150% of poverty level line. So that means 42% of our students that attend the 6 public schools in Lebanon County qualify for the free or reduced school lunch program. And we know that students that experience hunger or food insecurity often require special education. They miss more days of school. They are more likely to repeat a grade. They are more likely to be suspended from school or suffer other health issues. One of the programs that LCCM has been providing for the last 10 years, or sponsoring for the last 10 years, is the summer food program. That program, basically what it does is provides meals for these students during the summer months. The idea is if these children are getting either a reduced price meal or a free meal during the school year, what do they do during the summer when there is no school? How do they get a nutritious meal? So for the last 10 years, Lebanon County Christian Ministries has been sponsoring the summer food service program. We partnered with Lebanon Valley YMCA, Salvation Army, Youth Advocate Program, and a few other of the playground associations, South 6th Street Playground Association, Hilltop Playground. But in 2014, this last summer, June, July, and August, we served over 16,000 lunches, served in 3 months, to the students here in Lebanon County. So it's a tremendous need that's something that we've been doing, and of course, LCCM can't do it by itself. You know, I mentioned the number of agencies or other organizations that are partnering with LCCM to make sure that children within our county are getting enough food. Our mission statement, LCCM is dedicated to making a difference by filling the physical and spiritual needs in individual lives, thereby making this community a better place to live. Since 1982, as our started as a small food bank, we've added a number of services. So in addition to food, we also have a clothing bank. We provide utility assistance, whether it's heating oil, natural gas, water, and sewer. We provide prescription assistance. We serve a free new meal 7 days a week. There's a free lunch served somewhere in the city of Lebanon. We've also expanded that free new meal, so now we have weekly meals in Schaeferstown and in Newtonstown. We maintain or manage 2 programs federally funded for the County of Lebanon. That's the Emergency Food Assistance Program and also the Commodity Supplemental Food Program. And most recently, we've been operating an emergency shelter. That emergency shelter is actually a collaborative effort that we have with Jubilee Ministries. One person asked me already that they kind of had us confused with Jubilee Ministries. LCCM and Jubilee are 2 completely separate entities. We have our own board of directors and we have our own budgets and staff and so forth. But in this effort of providing shelter, we've combined resources. So we have a collaborative effort known as Lebanon Hopes. Jubilee Ministries operates a resource center, which acts as the qualifying agent. So any family, any individual facing an immediate housing crisis can go to the resource center. There they will receive case management services. The case managers will identify all the barriers and obstacles that this family or individual may have caused their to be without housing. And so the case managers will work through these obstacles. And the ultimate goal is to get them from their homeless state back to independence and into their own place of living. LCCM manages a network of churches that act as the shelter site. So instead of having built another building to try to maintain, we're actually using churches within the entire county to serve as shelters. So the guests or the families will go to the church around 8:30 at night. There they will be greeted by the church. Sometimes the churches provides a light snack for them, but then they sleep there at the church overnight, and by 7 in the morning they're gathering their things and heading back to the resource center. So it's been a great effort that Jubilee and LCCM have been part of here for the last 3 years. This winter will represent our 3rd season in doing this. In the first year, we provided services to 160 different men, women, and children, and provided over 4,100 nights of stay. Last season, we served 127 different men, women, and children, and provided 4,836 nights of stay. As you can remember, last winter was very cold, and so we had more families. Last year, 70% of the people that we served were members of a family unit. 47 of the people that we served were children under age 18, and 3 of them were newborns. We had 3 ladies who were married using the shelter, and they were pregnant when they presented to the shelter, started using the resources at the resource center, and while they were there, they gave birth. And so that added an entirely another challenge to our volunteers and staff of having to ascertain cribs and playpens and everything else that, if you can imagine, newborns would need. So, but we were glad that we were able to provide that service and have that available. This year, we're expecting kind of the same thing. Currently, our numbers, we've been open since September 30th. Currently, our numbers have been around 5 to 10 people a night. However, we've already been told that next week, we know that there's a couple of families that will be coming in to the shelter. So within the next month, we expect our numbers to be up around 25 to 30 people. Before the end of this month, we expect that number to kind of go up, which is our nightly average last year was around 25. 35% of our income comes from the community. And that's from groups such as yours, businesses, families, individuals, churches. 35% of our total income comes from the community, which I believe is phenomenal for the agency that we are, knowing that the community in which we're supporting is actually being supported by the community. So I want to thank you for the time to be here this afternoon and talk with you all, to let you know a little bit about what LCCM is doing.